You're talented, driven, and able to change the world with your two thumbs. You're trendsetters, thought leaders, strong learners, and loyal to your cause. You're misunderstood, mishandled, and often invisible. But you're determined to stand up, stand out, and be counted. You're young, powerful, and fluent in today's culture no matter where you live in the world. Yeah, you're young, you're impressive, and you just need caring guidance, a listening ear, and real people who don't try to change you because they think you're not good enough. Welcome to the Young and Impressive program, where we cover pressing, real-life issues for the young and the young at heart. With your hosts and new best friends, you can even call us your uncles, Justin and Dave. And again, welcome to the Young and Impressive program. Are you ready for this? What up, though? Listen, this is our maiden voyage. Welcome to the Young and Impressive program. And you already heard it, but I need to say it again. It's with my man, Justin, and then, of course, yours truly. I'm Dave, and we've got, as of yesterday, because Justin's birthday was yesterday, my birthday was a few days ago, we got 40 years under our belt. So I'd like to welcome you to our May 40. Can you imagine that? Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
What's up, Just?
What's good?
Yeah.
Yo, 40 years already?
Yeah. And it wasn't like we didn't meet in the bassinet.
Nah. We met in the basement of the Linden Seventh-day Adventist Church School.
Can you imagine?
Mrs. Reed with the ruler, ready to spank us on day one.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah. So, so what I put a feeler out, y'all, just to let you know, because, on the maiden voyage, the first program, sometimes you want to know kind of how this happened. But I put a feeler out to some of my, one or two friends, and then I put a blast out to say, I need to do this program, the Young and Impressive program for youth, right? And of course, some people think youth are from age 18 to 35. I'm going to drop it down to 15. But, the whole point is, if you are youthful or you're a youth, this program is for you. And I'm like, who can I do it with, right? And as the Lord would have it, my man just pops up on the radar. And it doesn't get any better, man. I'm excited about it. And I'm not saying it for effect because, cats get on the radio and say all kind of rubbish just to kind of people feel like, oh, that sounded good.
I need likes.
Yeah. So, exactly.
I need likes.
I'm going
to take it one step further. I'm going to say this is for 13 to 25 because kids at 13 got their own phone. They're listening to their own music. So I'm going to say 13 to 25.
Yeah, so we got the range here. On my mind, we're on that 13 to just before your brain stops developing, and not intelligence, talking about the brain organ. Brain stops at 25, and then you cross over. So you got that range from 25 to 35, and you have different needs. So we're running the gamut. This is, this is good stuff. And like I said, I'm delighted that you all have chosen to run with us, and that my man, Just, that you are running with me. And we're going to make it happen, man. I'm happy about it.
Yeah. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
I was young once.
Yeah, man. So let me give them a quick bit. So I want you to direct your web browser to youngandimpressive.com. And there you will find links to different podcasting aggregators, because you may be listening to this on the radio, but I'd like for you to still subscribe to your favorite podcasting aggregator, because we need you to give an honest review and an honest rating. And if you could see me right now, I'm looking into a camera that's not on because I'm used to being on camera. I'm looking at you looking at the wrong camera.
Wow.
But yeah, I need you to go there and you'll be able to WhatsApp, voice note your questions. You hear what I'm saying? I said WhatsApp. So download the WhatsApp. You can see it there at the web address. But download WhatsApp and voice note your questions. Don't call because I'm not going to answer. Don't leave me a text because I'm not going to read it. But voice note your questions. And then if you want to leave a question that you want to type in, you can do it right from the website. All right. So youngandimpressive.com and do all of that. And we'd be most appreciative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is all about, give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Right. So we have some content that we want to put out, but we absolutely want to hear from you. Yeah. We want to know what your questions are. We want to know what's on your mind, what's keeping you up at night.
Yeah.
or even what's helping you sleep.
Yeah. Real talk. So just so y'all know, you'll know over time. Again, you're just getting to know us, but you'll know over time. This is not a sterile program. We're going to talk about sex, money, murder, everything else in between. Whatever it takes, as long as by the time we're done, we all are elevated. So
Right.
yeah. So
And I think it's important too to say that while this was certainly a divinely inspired program, that our goal here is to get you on the right track. Right? We're not going to sit here and preach to you.
Nah,
we're not going to condemn you. Right. You know, it's not about condemnation. It's none of that. It's Uncle Just, Uncle Dave. Yo, I'm struggling with this. You know, my girl is pregnant.
Yeah.
You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what this is about.
Yeah. All right. Well, with all of that said, thank you again for joining us. So we're going to officially kick it off right here. And as Justin already said, I was young once. And yeah, I think it's time for us to kind of let the people know some of the things that we went through. So, you know, we can compare and contrast notes, right? Because some things that we went through are crazy similar. And then other things are like wildly different. You know what I'm saying?
And I think too, you know, there's nothing new under the sun, right? So while the technology is different today, the struggle has always been consistent from the beginning of time. The struggle has been the same.
Yeah.
You know, the challenges have been the same.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think by trying to bridge the gap in the age bracket, draw some parallels to what they're struggling with, to what we struggle with.
Yeah.
You know, we Queens heads, right?
Yeah.
You know, we grew up in Queens, which, you know, was originally built to be a suburb of Manhattan and quickly turned into crack haven.
That was the capital. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like that was where it really jumped off in New York. I mean, in the States.
Yeah.
The crack epidemic started like, I don't remember where your house was, but it started like 2 miles from my house. Cause I
was 199 in Linden.
Okay. So you were the opposite direction coming into South Jamaica. And for me, I was on Farmers, and back then it was New York Boulevard.
Yeah.
Well, it was Guy Brewer. So going, 50 and them, you know, 50 and them showed up after us.
Right.
In that spot right there, 40 Project.
Yeah.
That's where, you know, it jumped off. And it's like, we little dudes, like, trying to kind of just make it.
You know what's crazy, though? I think back on it, and I think how, you know, I think the environment where we grew up, I don't know about you, I never got the sense that it was that rough. You know what I mean? Like, I knew it was bad.
Yeah.
I knew it was bad. I seen dudes get shot. I saw a dude on Linden get stabbed, like right in front of me.
Yeah.
But I never got the sense that, and you know, maybe just because of what, you know, the home life that I had, you know, with my grandfather. You know, everybody know granddad. You know, that it was wild out there, but I was always just like, I'm gonna be all right. You know.
Yeah, my perspective was different because I was soft. Like I was one of them dudes that's like, just leave me alone. It wasn't until we got to high school, just like middle of freshman year, excuse me.
Right.
Then, you know, unfortunately I armed up because I had enough of the city taking advantage of me. Cause when we were in elementary school by grade 3, cause you know, we moved location
from
right
Linden to Laurelton.
So when we were kids, they didn't have what you call gangs. They didn't call them gangs them days in the city, right? But they had crews that were similar to gangs, but not exactly. So I lived in Farmers Crew Zone, but our second school was in Boom Bash Zone. Okay. And then on the way to the avenue where we used to, you know, eat pizza, play games and all of that on the way there was Cold Crush Zone. So I'm wearing what they called, you remember this, they used to call us Catholic school kids because of our uniform, but we weren't, right?
Yeah.
So it was like the soft dude who got on the Catholic school uniform who's moving through 3 crew zones just to get to elementary school. This is even before high school.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? So it was rough for me, bro. And that's not to mention the hood that I lived in.
Right.
So it was, I think, like, dude, for me, it was not nice. And I got over it finally, but dude, it was until I was like 14.
Yeah. But one of the things that I realize now that I'm talking through it is the bangers on my block ensured nothing went down between 197 and 201st.
Okay.
And Linden.
Understood.
You know what I mean? Anything that went down through them. And I think that feeling of safety, was because I was down with the cats that was rolling in, they was in control.
They're like, what's up, Shorty? Remember them days? What's up, Shorty?
Yeah. But like you said, when we moved out to Laurelton, when the school moved to Laurelton, I used to take the Q4 straight to Linden. Right. The school moved. Right. The school moved. Now I got to take the 4 to the 5. And I'm getting older and I'm like, yo, who are these cats?
Right.
There was the corner stores, guys hanging out on the corner.
Bodega.
You don't know them. Right. We got on blue or gray slacks and a white shirt and a tie, the little clip-on joint.
Yeah. No good. No bueno.
So yeah.
So for me, it was to find my identity being I wasn't sheltered, but I lived in a household that you would consider sheltered, if you understand what I'm saying. So
absolutely.
By age 8, I was home by myself. Like my peoples were not there. I was a latchkey kid. That's what they called us. Right? Your peoples aren't home. You go in and come out. Of course, you probably have rules that you have to abide by, but there wasn't nobody there waiting for me when I was 8, all the way up. Right.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with that. And then by later on, it's like, okay, well, what is my interaction with girls? My mom would have probably cut my head off if she thought I was having girls in the house. So like, how do I deal with that and school? And are we supposed to be Christians? And, do the adults listen to me? I don't know. All of that little stuff like that.
Right. So let me ask you this. Who did you think you were? 4th grade, 5th grade? Who when you think back on it, who were you? Who did you think you were?
Yeah, I was the dude that a lot of the homies around the neighborhood acted like I was cool with them, like I was their little shorty, but they would beat me up. I don't know if they were trying to toughen me up or take advantage of me. And then when I'm not with them, I would get robbed on the street sometimes.
Okay.
And then at school, I was a dude what do you call it? One of the dudes in our class that got picked on. Not bullied, because who was going to bully me?
Right. But it was different. Right. It wasn't bullying.
Yeah, but I did get, like, I was the butt of a lot of jokes. So it was like, I didn't know where I was because my pops was whack. Okay. So I didn't feel that protection. My elder sister is 7 years older than me, and she's a girl. So she's moving into that different sort of zone. Right. She was for me, but at the same time, she couldn't do nothing for me in the street.
Nah, not for real.
Not for real, because she wasn't that kind of woman, a young woman. So I had no idea who I was until, like I said, I took on a different perspective the middle of freshman year when I started to stand up. I told my mom, I'm not going back to school. She was like, what you mean by you ain't going back to school? I was like, listen, them boys are crazy. Because some of the boys from Brooklyn, I don't know if you remember, I won't name no names. I know it is many, many, many years later. But some of them boys were wild, bro.
I know what you're talking about.
And these dudes were having Tech 9s and I'm like, yo, I had enough growing up being on the bad end of this.
Right.
Now I'm here, and they're bringing some of that street stuff into our Christian high school. People getting high in the bathroom.
GNYA.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know what, man? I done had enough. I ain't going back. And she was like, oh, yeah? You're not going back? And of course, when she say I'm going back, I'm going back. But I armed up. I got kicked out of school immediately, bro. A nice boy who was soft growing up. Now I'm kicked out of school for weapons because I had enough of the streets. Because by the time we went to that high school, now I got to get on 1, 2 buses and 2 trains.
2 trains.
And I'm passing through more zones than that first set that we were talking about for elementary school that ain't so nice sometimes.
Right.
And then some of the cats at school, the Brooklyn versus Queens thing, because I wasn't cool like you and JJ and a lot of these other dudes yet. I didn't get cool until I was 15. Like I wasn't cool.
You was there. You was already there.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what I'm going to do? So the next person that steps up is getting it. So I developed this sort of survival violence thing, and that stayed with me till I got baptized when I was 23, bro.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
one thing, I had Ronald.
Yeah, you had a
my
brother
So I was straight.
back to back.
I didn't realize that I had this aura of protection around. Now it did come down. I do remember one day was a grade, I want to say 10th or 11th grade, where
It wouldn't have been 11th because didn't you leave 11th?
I left after 11th.
After 11th, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, after 11th, yeah. So I think it probably was 11th though, because I was a little more headstrong then. Where the cats from Aviation High School was waiting for us at Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember walking to the train station and dudes was like, just walk down to the next stop because no, that was at 61st Street. They said, walk down to the next stop because they up there, robbing everybody that comes up from Greater.
Yeah.
I remember Ronald stayed back for whatever, and I turned around and I went to go get him because I was like, I'm not letting my brother get robbed.
Right.
I'm the little brother.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm not letting my brother get robbed. I go back to get Ron. He's coming up the street. And I'm like, we can't go up there. I came back to get you. And check this out. He's like, man, you coming to save me?
Right.
He's like, you coming to save? He's like, man, get out of here.
And y'all was
like,
and you was a little bitty dude when we were
I was
exactly. Little bitty dude. You wasn't Diesel like you now, like you are.
Yeah,
now.
I was like, if we, if we going upstairs, we going upstairs together. He's like, man, get out of here. He's like, what I'm gonna do to help him, right? I was like,
yeah. Well, one thing, let me just say this so we can give him a little jewel here. When I told my mom I'm not going back to school because of the violence. In fact, this dude named Chris pulled out a gun on me in the bathroom, bro.
At Greater?
Oh yeah, put it right in my stomach, bro. Yeah, I don't know what his intentions were, but I'm telling you, the dude pulled the joint out and put it in my stomach.
Wow.
And this is 1980 what? Yeah.
7, right?
Yeah, okay.
Freshman year, 87.
Okay, so, and that, that was like the straw, right? But my mom asked me when I told her I'm not going back, and she asked me why. She didn't ask me why yet, even though I told her. It was after I got kicked out. And she found out why I got kicked out for weapons.
Mm-hmm.
She said, do you trust God? Dude, it was almost like she was speaking German. And I went to church like all my life.
Yeah, but she hit you with that?
Did I trust God? I was like, what is she talking about? I'm not going to say that to her because I'm at that time, I'm not belligerent. Like it was just, she might as well.
She's still moms.
I don't know what she was talking about. Trust God. So I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. And that dude, and I don't mean any disrespect to God. I mean to the paradigm that she was trying to communicate but didn't communicate well. So when I say that dude, I'm not referring to the God of heaven, the real God of heaven.
Yeah.
So this perspective
just in your mind,
paradigm called God, I'm like, well, that dude ain't helping me with what's happening to me
right
day to day.
Where was he? Right.
Like,
or where is he?
Yeah. But if I had the foundation, not the foundation of attending church, but the foundation of he's real to you. He's the one that when you talk to him, he listens. He's the one that since your pops is not representing, he's representing much better and you can trust him and he's going to help you. Like if I had that link and in a moment, it was almost like I bumped my head and now I'm talking about self-protection and she reminds me like, but you don't trust God? Then I'd have been like, you know what? That's true. I should be talking to him about this.
Yeah. Did it hit you though?
Negative. It didn't hit me until a year or two after I got baptized, bro, and when I was 23. Cause dude, it just got worse. Like it just went way downhill. When you went to the military, I went to I lived in the street sort of setting, but I wasn't a street dude. But by the time I got to college, son,
right,
it was all out, wild out. I was still quiet. Don't start none. Don't start none. Won't be none. But dude, if it did start, it was a problem.
Yeah. And
so when I got baptized, I met God at the same time because a lot of people get wet. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's just baptism. They just get wet. That's baptism. But I ain't talking about that.
Yeah, but let me bring it 360.
Yeah.
So for our our listening audience.
Yeah.
You said your mom hit you with a 2x4 across the forehead, and you didn't feel it.
No, I didn't even
You know
feel
what I
it.
mean?
I'm like, what are you talking about? What just happened? Trust
Yeah.
God. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So people who know who he is, yet
Yeah.
don't acknowledge him and the impact that he has,
Yeah.
what he can have.
Yeah.
What's the message? What are we trying to tell him?
The message is, there's nothing we can do to make people get to know God. But there are things we can do to inhibit. We can get in the way. We can be like, if you and I, we just said, y'all can call us uncle, right? And you come to uncle, but when you come to uncle, you don't get no love. When you come to uncle, you don't get you don't get a listening ear. All you get is, you know what you're supposed to do and do this and do that and do the other. So you don't get the love, you don't get the affection, you don't get the jewels that help to build. You feel me? So what happens is people are encountering other people who were supposed to, in a lot of ways, represent a godlike figure. But all they're getting is this TV version. Let us pray. And there's no diss to prayer. I couldn't possibly disrespect prayer. But if this dude over here knows nothing about that, how you going to start with, can you help?
Yeah. Right.
Is there something you can do to help?
I'm so glad you said that.
You feel me?
Because that's what it is. Like again, your mom, obviously no diss.
No,
right?
no.
But your mom didn't help you. In telling you, trying to you struggling, right, with self-identity, your security, whether or not you're gonna live, all these things, and she automatically just hits you with the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Blah, blah, blah.
And the impartation wasn't there. It would have been fine if that was my lifestyle. That would have made perfect sense. What's getting into you? Listen, but that wasn't our home life. When I say it wasn't our home life, like my dad was supposed to be a pastor, but that dude was a womanizer, unrepentant. He was all kind of stuff, man. He used to go to your church. He didn't even go to my church. He went to your church.
He was at Mount Sinai?
Yeah, he was at your church. Yeah, if you thought hard enough, or if I had a picture to do, which I don't, you'd be like, "Oh, that's him." Yeah, because he was at church, and his peoples that he wasn't supposed to be was at your church. Can you imagine?
Say word.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for me, it wasn't a good connection.
Yeah.
But it would have been if I had the foundation. It would have been the perfect answer, because I almost got kicked out of school because when you went to the military, I went to boarding school in another state.
Okay.
And I almost got kicked out for weapons again. I took that to the country.
Yeah.
And the deans were like, I heard you had quite an arsenal in your room. And at our school, it was like, yo, if you lie, you're out of there.
Yeah, you're out of here. You're right.
And so I was just like, I wasn't into truth telling, but at the same time, I was like, dude, if I lie, I'm done. And I cannot get kicked out of school twice for the same thing, because my mom will have my head, bro.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I told them, and sure enough, I went in my room, the drop ceiling with all the white dust. It was all over the floor.
Right.
They had already seen it.
Okay.
So I had to go, and they blackmailed me. Y'all don't know who it was. It's so long ago, but they blackmailed me for that year. So I didn't have to get sent home again for the same thing, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So going back to the situation with mom, in a perfect world, what did you need to hear?
Well, at that moment, bro, I don't know what I needed to hear, because it's hard to dial back.
Yeah.
It's hard to dial back and relay the foundation to where the right thing would have worked. Now, for me, if what would have been ideal was if my pops was in play, because he wasn't gone. He was physically in the house. If my pops was in play and he heard about it, then actually he wasn't. They divorced. But let's say ideal world.
Yeah.
He's in play. He's like, what's going on, son? This is going on. What? Now I feel like I can trust him. He can protect me. Whether he can or not, that's another story. Who knows how gangster the situation is? I don't know. But let's just say now I have this close companion who's my dad, who I think is invincible now. Right. And the dad is, in our case, if he's supposed to be a holy dude, then I feel like he petitions the throne of grace. Now that word doesn't sound funny to me.
Right.
and I believe it when he's praying.
Yeah.
And then he takes me into the situation and tries to help resolve it. But now it's on God's terms. Now I feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I feel validated. I feel
safe.
Safe. That's the exact word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And now I have sort of the building blocks. But for me, it was like, God, don't know what you're talking about. Arm up, get kicked out of school. What? Go back to school. Please let them in. Send them away to boarding school to save his life.
I had almost the opposite. You know, parents split up when I was little, but I was raised by my dad, who was Adventist. You know, admittedly, maybe in the beginning, a little more on paper than in real life, but we still had family worship. We still went to church, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, he had girlfriends, you know, he had, you know, we was chilling with his girlfriend's kids, you know what I mean? And so that's not a good look for someone trying to find themselves.
No.
And then when I get into beef, I called my dad. I was like, yo, I'm not going back to school tomorrow because so-and-so is looking for me. And if it was just a one-on-one, you know, I can handle myself. But if it's going to be 6 or 7 of these dudes, then,
no,
you know, and my father was like, then I'm coming to school with you. He's like, then we just going to all, you know, we just going to throw down and it is what it is. And literally, there was a time, Dave, when nobody even really knows about this, that my father came to the school after school let out and was walking through the halls trying to find the dudes that supposedly was going to get me. This was senior year after I left Greater.
So when I went to Long Island or something?
I went out to Long Island.
Okay.
Yeah. So I ended up going to this really big public school. And I'm the kid, you know, I'm the new kid.
Yeah.
I'm from Queens. You know, everybody want to test me, this, that, and the other.
Right.
And, you know, these dudes kind of came after me at my locker one day. And the thing was, when I dropped my book bag, because, you know, they stepped to me, yo, and they always made it about some girl. Yo, I heard you was trying to holler at my girl.
I could have imagined that because you was that cool, cute dude that the girls like.
It was the hair, but of which is all gone now.
That's funny. Yeah.
But you know, I dropped my book bag and was like, yo, it's 5 or 6 of y'all. I already know, you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna do what I could do. And then like the bell rang, whatever, they left. And then I told my father about it. He came up to the school and like literally, so my father was that dude.
Yeah.
That he was like, you know, one day if I'm gonna try to find a picture, my dad's hands, his knuckles, I think he broke like every knuckle in his hands from fighting.
Okay. Gotcha.
But he, you know, we were Christians. We were in the church.
Yeah. So you can't go bang out all the young boys that are trying to fight your son.
Right.
No, that's uncouth and uncivilized. You can't do that.
Right. But I feel like on one hand, your situation where you know, you were looking for somebody to have your back.
Yeah.
And somebody, you know, to be down for you.
Yeah. And
I'm looking for somebody I'm like, you don't need to come to the school. I mean, at the time I felt like, yo, that's what's up.
Right.
You know,
right.
And, you know, and obviously my father's background, that dude, you know, he grew up in Queens. So he was fighting.
Oh, he's a native New Yorker. Okay. I'm the only native New Yorker in my immediate family. The rest
okay.
Were born elsewhere.
Nah. My grandfather was born in Jamaica, and then my father is the first generation in New York.
Gotcha.
And they fought all growing up. The stories my father told me, it was almost like, how do I, you know, as a pretty boy, how do I live up to the gangster that he was, that my grandfather was?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I was like, I'm not, you know, you didn't even raise me to be like that.
No.
But that's how I'm supposed to be.
Right. So, you know, reality is, so we're talking all around it. I had typed you a message on the screen, but we're going to move to the second joint. Yeah. But the reality of all of this is that if we told you more and more stories, listen, it's always about like, where do I fit in? Am I supposed to be doing right? Or what is right anyway? I'm not sure. And like, what is my identity? And unless we have like the model family, that becomes very difficult. And even in what people would call a model family, it's like, but where do I fit into this?
Right.
And so like when we were at university age, because I know you were in the military at that time, there was no internet for the common citizen.
Okay.
Of course, maybe in your zone, they knew about that, right? But for the common citizen, there was no such thing as internet. So what I'm seeing now, and you know, a lot of the people listening could probably identify with it. Like you go in the like when we went in the locker room, you didn't have to worry about somebody picking up a phone and aiming it at you. Right?
Right.
If somebody quote unquote bullied you, you didn't have to, you didn't have the issue of people who were bullied committing suicide while on Facebook Live. That was a non-issue because there was no Facebook, there was no live, there were no mobile cell phones like these, right? And there was no internet, and that's college.
Yeah.
So you got these young ones now, like you all are like 13 years old, and everything is on. Like instead of somebody helping you when something's going wrong, they're pointing a camera at you. The same people that are pointing a camera at you could help you not get beat up, help you not get disrespected, help you not get your stuff stolen, or help you when people are saying bad things about you and everybody thinks it's a big joke and there's 40 of your not best friends watching it. They're aiming a camera at it instead of helping you. Like that's something different than what we grew up with because there was no camera.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the camera is big, bro, because like whatever disrespect you felt, because think about it, you're all in your feelings when you're young, right? Yeah. And you're wondering, you know, like how are people going to see me when this is all over, right? So for us, if you go to a big school, you got 200 people watching. If not a big school, then you got fewer than that. But your video can go viral and end up on the news today.
Right.
That same incident.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was thinking through it like it's almost like the artificiality that technology brings seems more detrimental today, even though it's less authentic. Does that make sense? Like I felt like, so we're walking the halls of Greater New York or Northeastern or the school I went to out in Long Island. And if I did something embarrassing, they saw it in first person. Right.
Okay.
And that hurt, like, because they saw it in first person.
Right.
And now it gets recorded and it gets put on the web. But the people that are clowning, you don't know them. Right. You don't. I mean, it might be a million of them, but you don't know them. So why is their opinion so valid? Why are they so influential?
Because you're what you're doing is mixing two worlds. The world we grew up was head up. We used to call head up.
Head up,
face to face,
one-on-one. Yep.
That's your world. But what you're adding is your anxiety to your world paradigm, and you're saying, well, at least the 50,000 people, I don't know them. But suppose your world is the 50,000 people.
Right.
See, if your world is virtual,
right? That's right.
So that's why.
That's where they live.
Different. That's where they actually live, bro.
That's where they actually live. Right. For them, that's real.
That is real.
That's real. Yeah.
So you're not gonna vanish. You're not going to switch off your Instagram. You're not going to switch off. They got this new joint. The joint confuses me. I don't even remember the name of it. It's a video joint. It's like Periscope, but it's not. It's like Periscope with like a Periscope with like a gaming thing at the same time. So when people are watching you, they're throwing jewels and coins and all kind of stuff at you. Like
they're basically evaluating you.
It's wild, bro. Because I was thinking about getting into it because I see one of my boys that's like us, like our age, that's winning in that zone for what he's trying to get across. But dude, I thought I was pretty in touch, but the joint was just too much. I couldn't exist in the zone, man. Cause the screen, like you see how our screen is kind of clear?
Yeah.
The whole screen is full of stuff, not likes, not loves, all kind of jewels and diamonds and funny caricatures are just popping constantly and not stopping.
Wow.
So, and it looks like the following in that zone is much more than anything I'd ever seen. So somebody that nobody knows could on your video, get tens of thousands of people. I don't know how they do it. And it's like, so imagine now if somebody puts up a phone to whatever you're embarrassed about into one of those kind of social media platforms.
Right. And immediately you're just being evaluated.
You're being evaluated, and 50,000 people you don't know are watching, but you're getting laughed at you're getting dragged in social media by those same 50,000 people. I mean, of course, I'm making a number up.
Yeah.
So nobody really want to
literally getting dragged. You literally
dragged.
Yeah.
So it's like, now what? Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. The place that I find to be, I would say reprieve, but in the young person's mind, the place that I'm finding where I can go, like when my mom's is screaming on me, or, my big sister is getting on my nerves, then I'm gonna just go get my phone, throw on the headphones. And then when I go on, now I'm looking at my media, what you call it, profile. And because somebody dumb put a camera up while I was having something bad happening to me, now in that place that I feel like I'm safe, I'm getting dragged. You see? Right. Yeah. And then the grown-ups are like, you don't need to be on that anyway. Now what? Where do I go?
Yeah.
And so that's why relationships are so valuable. And that's why, for me, I feel like us doing something like this, and it takes a while for people to feel like they can trust you, is to say, all right, while you're trying to figure life out, or you think you got it figured out, but now you're upset about something, or you're sad about something, or whatever, you can type into the little box, and some guys that don't really know you, or we may know you, but that don't really know you can give you objective advice to say, maybe you could look at it this way. And you don't have to fear like, are they going to give me the pat answer that Uncle so-and-so gives me when he wants to get me to stop talking?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or just the, have you prayed about it? Right.
Right. Good first step, but now what?
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
Right. How do I do that? Like, how come when I pray, y'all keep telling me to close my eyes and fold my hands, but it doesn't say that in the Bible? And why I got to keep imagining God?
Right.
Right. So, like, I don't force my son to clasp his hands. And, we're here in Jamaica. And, of course, there's a way you do everything.
Oh,
it's like, fold your hands. And they'll wait for you. Be like, and they sometimes tell adults the same thing. And they'll wait for you. Like I said, like, close your eyes kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, why? Yeah. I'm not saying it because I don't want him to become disrespectful. I understand what they're trying to do, but I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah,
let's get to the part that really matters here.
Wow.
Who's the one that created us? And why is he so interested in me? And how can he impact my life so I can impact the lives of others?
Right.
Kind of thing. Right. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. We could compare notes all day, every day, and so much will be similar. So much will be completely crazy different. But the point is, the common denominator that we have, real talk, is that we're people.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. And I think a lot of times older people forget that they're people or we're people. And that's what drives the wedge. If you recognize that we're all people, all of us need love, we all win then.
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt. Thanks for running with us. We'll holler at you next time. Yeah.
There you have it, y'all. Being young and impressive is about plotting your own course, but doing so wisely and with a multitude of great counselors. Never allow life to just happen to you. Take the bull by the horns, pray much, and win at school. Win in your career goals. Win in your approach to adversity. Win in your relationships. And most of all, win in your relationship with God. After all, you're young and impressive. So be that. young and impressive in this generation. We're counting on you because we need you. Until next time, peace.